Before this video begins, I'd like to give a special thanks to the people on screen for supporting me on Patreon. Hello and welcome to some more Sega GT. This is part 22, and in today's part, like I mentioned, if you've seen part 21, I'm going to be jumping into my Honda Civic Type R that I've unlocked earlier on in the LP, because it goes just under 1600cc. It makes a decent amount of power for that engine amount at stock at 185, though of course I'm going to, as you can see, make it better. We're going to jump it up to, that jumps it up to a pretty nice 250, and yeah, 283, I think that's okay. I don't think I really need to do too much more than that, to be perfectly honest. Because the last few cars have had like a bit of an iffy transmissions with the setup, I am just going to go ahead and put a better transmission into the car already. I could obviously do the same for some of the other things, but really I think the transmission I think is a little more important in this case, and then everything else will already suit the car relatively well. So there we go. Right, our Civic is ready, as it's going to be tackling an official race this time, the B-Class official race, the B-Class Cup, which takes place at 4 tracks this time. Ooh, 4. Sky Peak Hill, Great Rock Road, Snowy Mountain, and Night Section B. Of course, you need your B-Class license, and of course, again, displacement is under 1600 cc's. You get $5,000 for winning each race, $2,000 for pole position, and a $30,000 championship prize. So, some decent money to be made as we take a look at our list of cars. Ooh, this is kind of interesting. 2 Civic VTIs, an AW11 MR2, a A111 Sprinter Tuno, and an Alpine A110. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to put these on soft to get more out of the Civic. I'm actually kind of honestly going to think the Civic is probably going to wipe the floor. I was expecting a little bit more of the higher end cars, and even at 1600 cc's, but I was wrong, which is fine. I've been wrong many times before. I've also again tried to tweak the audio a bit, because I did watch part 21 just before I started part 22 here, and yeah, it was still a little bit on the quiet side. Not as bad as part 20, but you know, I still need to find that area where you can at least hear a decent part of the game without it like overlapping my voice. I think I've found that sweet spot now. Ooh, this car handles nicely. Very nicely, in fact. Though it is a little bit jumpy, actually, which is actually surprising, considering it's front-wheel drive. Just like the Celica in the last part. Now, this is another example of shiny red car. In the last several parts, I had that red Audi TT. I've had the red MRCs, I've dubbed it. And now I have a red Civic Type R. How many red cars I'm going to be in during this playthrough? This probably won't even be the end of it. But, you know, don't worry, by the time you're seeing this part, it won't be called Shiny Red Car again. I'm going to probably think of something a little more clever to come up with. Maybe Type Red. That's not very clever, but still. Yeah, it wasn't a perfect run, but still an easy enough pole position over the 2 Civics, in fact. So, Civic. And I guess maybe unsurprisingly, albeit depressingly, the A110 is at the back. Actually, I'm kind of curious about those Civics. Are they like the previous gen? Are they EGs? Or are they also EKs like my Civic Type R? I just want to take a quick look before we start this. Because I don't actually remember entirely off the top of my head whether or not they're EGs or EKs. We're about to find out, though. They are also EKs. Okay, cool. I did not remember to be entirely certain, so that's why I wanted to take a look. Yeah, you can really let it sit in first gear for a while there before you really need to shift up to second. So even though it's 4 races this time around rather than 3, it is back to 2 laps rather than 3, so kind of balances itself out in a way, I suppose. So 4 races, 8 laps altogether. versus 3 races, 9 laps altogether. So there is kind of that to play with for a bit. Okay, don't shift up just yet. Okay, that actually was a little bit shorter than I was expecting, but it's fine. This is gonna be a sub 1 minute, I believe. Yep. Yeah, look at that, 59.2. I really didn't need to put this much into the Civic thinking about it, but hey, it's better to be safe than sorry. I would probably have it a guess. I'd probably have it a guess. What the fuck do I mean by that? I would definitely be saying that. I'm a fucking dumbass. Oh god. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, we're fine. No worries. Don't worry about nothing there. I mean, I don't really have to worry. I mean, look how far ahead I am. That little bump isn't gonna like kill my chances of being in the lead or anything. Is this going to be better than a 56.5? I think it will be, in fact. Yeah, it looks like by a couple seconds, even. 53.9. Very nice for the 153.1 total record. Sweet. Well, that's a very decisive win. So, we're on to the next one. But first, let's collect our $5,000 cash. Okay, it was $1,500 for this B-class car. So, not as much as before with the previous event, but still... 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, 12,000, and then 13,500. I believe that's how much it comes up to. Cool. Anyways, next up is Great Rock Road. Yes, it's the track with the very, very annoying corner. If I remember correctly, I believe this is actually the event you do in the B license, like the B license for the Civic. I believe it's this. So. You could say familiar territory, the only difference being this time I'm in a red Civic, whereas in the license I was in a white Civic, so... It's actually kind of interesting that Honda... I don't know, did Honda ever sell a red Civic Type R back in the day? I know they did for the Integra Type R, there was obviously the red one, but the only colors I really remember of the Civic Type R are white, black, silver, and then there were also some that were yellow, I believe, as well, but... I don't think they did it for the, in Civic. I don't think they made a red Civic. I just know the Integra Type R had a red, there was like a red one. It might be something I have to look into at some point, out of genuine curiosity. But, so who knows what the answer might be. What I do know is I basically crushed it again here with a 54.9 as we lead, but as we start with an over 4-second advantage over again the 2 Civics. Oh, this time okay, nice. This time the Alpine actually didn't get start in last. It's actually like about a second and a half ahead of the AE 111 Truna, which is actually a bit surprising to see it so far down there. God damn it, Discord. I really should have turned that damn thing on D&D so the notifications wouldn't go off. I'll worry about that later. I'm not going to stop the video just to take care of that. Now, this time I decided to shift a little earlier in first, and I think that probably was for the better. Because I did notice in the first race that first Civic would just get a little bit close to me, but then my cars would really start to kick in, lol VTEC, and kind of get it back to its position. Okay, easy does it. There we go. I just noticed a little icon thing at the bottom left there. Again, I wish I could figure out a way to like completely remove the mouse icon whenever I'm using Demule and full screen. Again, for those of you wondering, why don't you just use Redream? This game does not emulate completely properly. Like it gets very, very close to doing so. Don't get me wrong, but the game's audio in the menus is all kind of jumbled up a little bit, so it doesn't come out properly. Demule's the only one that plays the music properly, so And of course, I wouldn't just use null DC, because not only is that emulator pretty out of date, it also has further emulation problems, like the menu music plays like one note at a time really fucking slowly, like almost every 3 to 5 seconds, basically. And then there's also like the fact that some graphics don't render properly and everything. So whilst Emule isn't the best, is probably not the best Dreamcast emulator out there for many people, because it's not the best optimized, because Redream definitely is. The one thing that Redream does have a huge advantage over Demule is how well optimized it is, especially like in between like loading times for this game. Like the transitions for like when I look at a car, when I press it, is almost instantaneous. It's very similar to the PC version in a lot of ways. So that is the one advantage of using Redream. But again, it's not quite perfect emulation, whereas this, despite the fact that it may have that bit of a wait time, which is, I guess, you could say maybe more accurate to the hardware, not that it would really be something you would want to be more accurate to. In my opinion, at least, this is still the best way to play the game. You could be one of those people who plays it on PC, but bear in mind you're going to have like a myriad of graphical issues, and that's not exactly something that's really any fun to deal with, so pretty much playing the Dreamcast version is the best way you're going to be able to play it. And if you're someone who has an actual copy of the game, or like a GDMU, and you've got like an HDMI thing, like the Gecko, or hell, even the pound cable if you're on a budget, or the DC HDMI if you're someone who doesn't have as much of a budget and you just want the ultimate solution kind of thing, then those are definitely the best ways. But for me, I'm more than happy to emulate my Dreamcast stuff, because Dreamcast emulation is definitely getting there, and hopefully Redream will continue to be further enhanced, and it will eventually become the be-all end-all. It's already becoming a be-all end-all for some people, but for me, for the kind of games I'm playing, it needs just a little bit more work. So it's definitely getting there, but so I didn't actually get the fastest lap around there. In fact, I was almost a whole second off. And holy shit, I only barely escaped with pole position even. Holy fuck, it must have not done a very good job around there, but hey, even by that very small bit, I will happily take getting the pole position. In fact, it looks like one of the other Civics, the VTI, wasn't even third. One of the AW11s got it. So the Civic came behind the AW11. It's fine. Whether or not I just had like a really bad lap and I hadn't really noticed, it's not a particularly big deal anyways. Simply because, well, we're just gonna kick some ass and not have to worry about it. I probably would say, oh god, that it was a bad lap and I just hadn't noticed. Yeah, because this definitely feels a bit quicker. Because that was pretty much right on the money. Yeah, see, 53. And there was no like bump or double bump. That was just me doing a much better lap. Oh well, it's fine. All that matters is I did still get that $2,000 bonus, because I still got pole position, even if it was by that small of amount, and still easily winning the race. So there's always a light at the end of that tunnel. Oh god, that was kind of a very sudden twitch there with how the car reacted that time around. I don't really go into 6 because the car doesn't seem like it really gains any much speed from it. So still not good enough for a fastest lap, huh? But we did get a better total record, so there is that at least going for it. So that's already 3 down. So that just leaves Night Section B. So $5,000 prize money, $2,000 chain bonus. All of our extra sponsor money. Very close to 730,000. As we do one last qualifying for Night Section B. Again, as I've mentioned before, it's my favorite of the two night sections, because I like that tunnel section where it reminds me of like Special Stage Route 5. I am shifting a little bit earlier than I have before, just to see how the car gets on. I think around 10,000 RPM seems to really be the sweet spot anyways for this car. And I will say, the Civic, even though I really didn't do much of stuff like the suspension or the clutch, this is like the suspension, I almost said clutch, that doesn't really have a lot to do with it. The suspension or the flywheel or anything like that. This car handles really, really nicely for the kind of vehicle it is. I mean, yeah, it's a Civic Type R. I guess I really shouldn't be too surprised that it's handling nicely, but you know. I definitely chose a good car for this, to say the least. Whoa, God, keep the damn... Oh, okay, actually didn't go as bad as I thought it would. That's fine. Just around there. And around here. Whoop, whoop, God. Oh, that was a bit of a botch. That was a bit of a botch job, I shall say so myself. That's fine. We still easily crushed the fastest lap to get, so we're still very well and truly going to be starting at front by about, how much is that? 7 seconds, I believe. That was, I think, actually, hang on, did that say the AW11 MR2 got second? Yeah, it did. It beat both the Civics this time. It went from being behind it in the first 2 races to getting in front of one of them for Snowy Mountain, and then in the final race, it gets a better time out of both of them. That's a bit of interesting progression for the AW11. It's just a shame that it, my car is a bit ridiculous for the rest of the field here. Oh geez, I could have done a better start than that. That MR2 got a better start. Although of course I've already passed it because stupid internet people like to say, VTech just kicked in, yo. That's already starting to become an old one now that I think about it, because that's been a joke for ages. But it still resonates with a lot of people, so what can you really say? Yeah, I'm not even really gonna bother putting this car into 6. Not really any point. Doesn't really make the car go any faster, so. Well, that was actually not too bad through there. I kind of decided to give it a bit of handbrake to see how it would get on. Seems like that was a good idea, I would say. Oh, this is not going to be pretty. Oh, actually, no, that wasn't actually too bad. Whoa, that was probably as close as I was going to be able to get there. If I was like 1 inch further to the right, I probably would have hit that. That was really fucking tight. There, a 1:10.7 there. That's flying, I'd say. Again, this car is just really nice. This car is just really nice to drive, so I can't really complain about it. It'll be interesting to see what it's like again when I switch from this to the MRC for the next episode, because that's going to be for original. Or wait, it's also for works cars. I might actually take a look at. I might actually use a works car instead. I'll look at what my works cars again would be. I think they are for the B-class cars. I can't use the BP Craft Truno because that was an A-class works car at a B-class event. Still don't understand that. I guess they couldn't think of another place to put it, but whatever. I'll just have to go through them again and try to remind myself, okay, which one of these were really good again. Anyways, so we're just coming up here onto the finish with a sub 105, 104.6. Nice. We just fucking killed them. They are still way back there, and it was only a 2-lap race, only a 2-lapper, and I was that far ahead. So there we go, $5,000 prize money, $3,000 chain bonus for the first time, and all of our extra sponsor money. So, wow, the A110 came... Oh, wow, I did not realize that. The A110 came second in that race and finished second in the points. Despite usually starting near the back of the grid each race, it got second overall. 18 points. Nice, cool. Civic, the other Civics got 15, MR2 12, the other Civic 11, the AE111 was the stinker of the bunch with only 8 points. Of course, I won every race, so I got 36 points. So, $30,000 champion bonus, and we get another Pulsar, it seems. Although this one's got some stuff on the side, so it might be a little bit, so it's probably a little bit more special than the other one we've had. In fact, let's get a closer look, shall we? Let's take a look. Which particular one is this? The Pulsar Series VZR N1 version 2. Just a comparison, there's the other one. That was just a VZR. This is the N1 version 2. This one apparently seems to be I think the other Pulsar was making about 175 horsepower at the tap stock. This is bumped up to 200 horsepower. So, yeah, it's basically a sportier Pulsar. Nice. I believe there's probably another card to unlock from this. I can't remember what it is, but if I'm going to have it a guess as it was like the extra class, it's probably going to be a pain in the ass to unlock it. Because I still have never been able to get that green Z Turbo, and I'm told in the from the FAQs I can find on this game that you're supposed to get it from the extra class, so I don't know. I have no idea. But all I do know is stay tuned for the next episode where we shall be tackling... It's going to be a... Oh, whoops, not the car dealership. It's going to be a pretty short next part where we're just going to be tackling the B-Class special race, which is going to be Night Section A Reverse for works and original cars only. Under 1600cc still, so, you know, there's that. So, yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this one. You can also come check me out over on Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, all the links, they're all down below in the description. You can also come join us at Discord. I'll catch you all in the next one.